Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Ian Utilli. I'm one of the co-producers at NFT NYC. And Jen, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really looking forward to learning about Steamboat Pictures and what you do as the director there. And so could you please introduce yourself to me and talk a bit about Steamboat Pictures before I ask you a few specific questions?
Absolutely. My name is Jen, and nice to meet you. Nice to meet everyone. Steamboat is my personal production company, named after a combination of Steamboat Willie and Mark Twain and his whole dedication to the steamboat and what that means about art. So, but it's my personal company. I have other projects I'm working on that are sort of connected to it, and I'm sort of it's the company that I'm using to explore some of the NFT stuff that I'm doing. It gives me the most versatility. And I'm just excited to be here. There's so much opportunity right now and energy, and we're all kind of riding this wave together. So it's very cool to be on it and see where it goes.
Yes, well, I'm glad that you are doing what you're doing. I think that there's so much opportunity when it comes to all things art and film. And now there's also new blockchains that you can put, video content on chain, and all these things are developing. So it's an exciting time. Can we talk a bit about community? I think no matter what type of artist you are, community is always going to be a big part, right? People have to want to absorb your art. And then with a decentralized approach in the Web3 ecosystem, community is even more important. I love seeing your daughter walking by. I live in a treehouse with two boys. So sometimes you'll see my boys popping up from time to time.
Well, who knows what trouble she's, Kidal, can you get Lou? Sorry. Who knows
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I love it. So community, give me some insight on your perspective on community when you think about what's being developed with Steamboat Pictures as the director.
Well, what I find most interesting about the community right now is that, talking about NFTs or crypto in a way is sort of a litmus for the kinds of people you're talking about and how bold they want to be and how experimental they want to be. Nobody really knows exactly where this is going to go, but there's you have to sort of just start doing it and not be afraid to do it. And, there may be some mistakes along the way or maybe not, but it's very cool to talk to people and find other people like you who are willing to sort of be bold and take those steps. And that's where I think you find the new ideas and the new things. And I love those conversations. I have my own way of seeing things because I come from a film background where we have a sort of process at this point that no matter where you are in the world, people kind of follow that process and people can get stuck in that process, be very traditional about it. And then you meet people who are willing to think differently or are coming from another industry and looking at film because they see an opportunity with film. They're not coming from the film world. So you start to see all these different mechanisms coming into play and making a new kind of Tetris structure in a way. And that's really exciting because that's where things are going to go. And my main driving function here is to create stories and get them to as many people as possible. And that's what I look to blockchain to do, like maybe episodic content, that sort of thing. But also I'm looking at it as a way to maybe finance films. And I have a philanthropic project I'm working on that I want to I'll probably announce it at nft.nyc. And that's a way of using the blockchain to create a charitable sort of structure that can distribute money to people in a certain way and things like that. So I love thinking about that. I've had really positive feedback from talking to like people about the philanthropic side, talking to investors. But the funny thing is nobody really knows how it's going to go. No matter how smart they are, it's like, how do we do this? It's like jumping off a cliff. But there seems to be water below us, so I think we're good.
I think we are good. I think we're in a good place. And again, I just want to reiterate, I'm happy your daughter's running around. Again, this is a natural conversation. It's just two friends getting to know each other. Let's probably hear them screaming. Let's talk about technology, right? And the play and where technology kind of fits into what you're doing with Steamboat Pictures. Because this is a totally new ecosystem that's been developed. And so give me some insights on that as an artist, as a director.
Well, I try to be flexible. Aside from what's going on with crypto, we also have changing technology in just how we create films right now. And it's like constantly changing and there's so much minutia to that. So even how much, if we create something, how big it is, how we can move it around. There's new new layers to like how we license things and make it legal, which is like a whole nother conversation. And there's a lot of misunderstanding around that, because it's actually, that's one area where it's not going to go far away from how we traditionally license things. You're still going to have to license it. All of that plays into the technology, though. It also affects how willing people are to take a chance with different things, because they feel like they're confused about how the legal side works and all of that. On the technology side, I try to listen to artists more like in the fine artist universe who are using this technology to do interesting things and, you know, create learning NFTs and all this cool stuff. It's like, how do I use that in a film? I don't know if that, I have not figured out how that directly translates to film. That doesn't mean it won't, but we're on a different path. But I just think it's important to listen to all that, because there's a way, you know, that's the cool thing about it. There's so many smart people who are trying to just like break through all of these barriers. And I'm coming in with creative content and a goal to tell a story and to reach people and to send a message. And I'm looking for how technologically things I can think of, things I can't think of, because I'm not a coder. I'm not coming from that world. Having kids helps, because they think everything is possible. So it's like, hey, can we do this? And it's like, I say yes. I will say yes. I will think about how to do that. And that's my approach to the technology. And if I have a specific idea, I try to find the people to do it. And that's not easy right now, because this is new. This is all very new. But you know, places like NFT.nyc, I'm hoping, you know, you can find people, you throw out an idea, just an idea, like a vision for something creatively. And maybe somebody says, you know what, I have a thing that maybe we could use to make this happen, you know? So that's where we are right now, I think. And that's my approach. Just try to be open. And if I don't understand something, I take a breath and I try to understand it, because some people will shut it down. And I think that's, from a mainstream standpoint, something that we're facing as artists. You know, people don't understand the technology. So they just say, scared, leaving, just send me a DVD, you know, or whatever. So.
Well, there's time, right? And over time, people become more and more comfortable because the understanding of the technology goes down and the usability goes up. Projecting the future, I like to just, I don't want you to be a prophet or, you know, Nostradamus, but just, you know, kind of what would be a wonderful outcome for the NFT industry in the next couple of years, specific to what you work on. So if I say to you NFT 2024, what type of positive things come to mind that you'd like to see developed?
So for me, what I would like to find a way to do, there's two things. Expand what I can do creatively, how I can tell stories. So things that, like, using technology that I haven't even envisioned yet, or in some cases maybe have a vague concept of, but connect with engineers and software people and other kinds of artists to do that, to really break through a wall creatively, to tell a different kind of story. And then also getting stuff out to more people, using the blockchain in a way to just get things out to as many people as possible, in a sort of more almost democratized way, by maybe sharing bandwidth on the blockchain or things like that. Because that's what you do as an artist. You create and you try to get your work to people who might respond to it or can take it to the next level. I mean, I also like that idea of creating something and then having people add on to it. So that's so cool. Like, can we do that? That's a totally different kind of filmed project. If we almost like a choose your own adventure, and like, you know, I've seen people dabbling in that with the more of a fine art angle, but that's all stuff that we need to be thinking about, because it's going to go there naturally. It is going to go there at some point. So I want to be one of the people thinking about it, and also hear when I say stuff like that, what does it inspire in other people? Because it is to go back to community, it's a community effort. No one person can create the content and also do the coding and also finance it. You know, it's a big undertaking.
It takes a village.
Yeah, but
well,
it's
there'll
also
be a village in New York for NFT NYC. I look forward to seeing you there. For anybody that's watched this conversation, thank you for your attention. And Jen, thanks so much